Hello everyone, I hope you are doing well. For a very long time now, I have noticed that a lot of people get confused over many frequently used terms due to many reasons, including language, history, culture, translation, and misinterpretation. Especially after I started the monthly Q&A video series, I realized that this is true not only in non-Chinese language societies, but unfortunately in China as well. Of course, some of you may say that as long as people keep practicing, it is okay if they do not clearly understand the difference between common terms. Well, I disagree. With such confusion, it would be very hard, if not impossible, to reach a high level in practice. The exchange and the dissemination of knowledge would also become very difficult. Even today, there are quite a few fundamental issues such as the lack of agreement in the community on definitions of key internal style concepts and terms, and this may fester forever unless we actively work on resolving them. For example, for a very long time now, I have thought about making a video defining the term Nei Jia or internal style. Now that I have explained many important concepts and introduced a lot of terms and proverbs, today I will provide a detailed introduction of Nei Jia or internal style. Topics covered in today's video include: first, Jia, Nei, why? Second, history of the term Nei Jia. Third, definition of Nei Jia. Fourth, key characteristics of Nei Jia. Fifth, demonstration. Sixth, correction of students' practice. Seventh, takeaways. So, without any further ado, let's get started. First, Jia, Nei, why? Before I introduce the concept of Nei Jia, let's talk about three related Chinese characters, including Jia, Nei, and why. Again, like I introduced in a prior video titled Internal Style Concepts 24, Chen. The Chinese language or Hanyu has many idiosyncrasies, one of them being a high degree of contextuality. As a result, the specific meaning of a character depends on its context. I will use the same approach to explain the term Nei Jia today. Jia can mean family, home, expert, school of thought, especially before pre-Han China, and so on. In China, people use the term 诸子百家 or 100 schools to describe a period of time that lasted for about 500 years before 221 BCE, since during that period, hundreds of thinkers and philosophers emerged and contributed to the creation of a Chinese philosophy and practice. Among those hundreds schools, Confucianism or Rujia, Taoism or Daojia are two of the strongest in terms of their influence on Chinese history, culture, and civilization. Nei can mean inner, internal, inside, and so on. Why can mean outer, external, outside, and so on. Of course, there are many other often unrelated meanings of these two characters as well. Please keep these three Chinese characters and their meanings in mind. We will use these characters in discussion the term Nei Jia. Let's continue. Topic 2. History of the term Nei Jia. Before I talk about the meaning of Nei Jia, let me briefly introduce the origin of this term. Huang Baijia, a martial artist and scholar who lived from 1643 to 1709 CE, was the son of Huang Zongxi, an important philosopher in history. Huang Baijia wrote the epitaph for his teacher Wang Zhengnan's tombstone. Wang Zhengnan was a prominent martial artist of his time. The beginning of the epitaph says, quote, 少林以拳勇名天下，然主于博人，人亦得以成之。有所谓内家者，以静制动，犯者应手即扑，故别少林为外家。Translation: Shaolin is famous for its martial art. It focuses on attacking. However, the opponent can take advantage of its approach. As for Nei Jia practice, it focuses on applying the principle of using the static to conquer the dynamic. Opponents would be defeated right away in fighting. So, it is different from Wai Jia. End of translation. Here, I have intentionally not translated the term Nei Jia and Wai Jia and preferred the original form. This is the first written document mentioning the term Nei Jia. Quite strange for an epitaph to be the first written record of the time, but true. From the first written record of the term Nei Jia, we merely get the information that Nei Jia is a style that focuses on applying the concept of 以静制动 or using the static to overcome the dynamic. In self-defense situation, static means a reactive approach, while dynamic means a proactive approach. In Chinese martial art history, this type of Nei Jia was popular in the Zhejiang area. Some people call it Nanpai Nei Jia or Southern Nei Jia. Unfortunately, this style gradually lost popularity until about 200 years ago, when it was almost completely replaced by the Beipai Nei Jia, Northern Nei Jia, more specifically 形意, Bagua, and Tai Chi. So, over approximately the last 100 years, the term Nei Jia has commonly referred to Northern Nei Jia, or the three styles of internal martial art, including 形意, Bagua, and Tai Chi. I have a prior video titled Decoding Martial Proverbs 10, Northern Shaolin, Southern Wudang. In that video, I have briefly introduced the Southern style of Nei Jia and Zhang Sanfeng, and I have also debunked claims about 形意's origin in Wudang. Please have a look if you haven't already. Link is in the description. To summarize, the term Nei Jia was first mentioned in Wang Zhengnan's epitaph, authored by Huang Baijia without any explanation. A historical term without a precise explanation or definition is almost always forgotten with time. But interestingly and fortunately, the term Nei Jia not only survived but thrived and has also been attributed some new meanings over time. So, what are the additional meanings of the term Nei Jia, and also how do I define the term Nei Jia? That brings us to the next topic. Topic 3. Definition of Nei Jia. Since Huang Baijia only mentioned the term Nei Jia without any explanation on Wang Zhengnan's epitaph, people from later generations explained Nei Jia in different ways. I would like to list all of those hypotheses and then give you my own definition based on the conclusion of my research. First, based on religious or philosophical belief, Nei Jia is based on Taoism and Jia is based on Buddhism. Since Buddhism originated in India, it was considered a foreign practice, while Taoism originated in China. Thus, Taoism is considered an internal concept, while Buddhism is considered an external concept. As a result, practice based on Taoism is an internal style, while practice based on Buddhism, for example, Shaolin, is an external style of martial art. This hypothesis may sound nice, but has no basis in reality, according to Chinese tradition. This is not at all how the Chinese martial art community categorized a martial art style. I will talk more about this in the future. Second, based on geographic location, martial art practiced in Wudang mountain are Nei Jia, while all others are Jia. This was an idea promoted by former warlord turned vice director Li Jinglin at the 中央国术馆 or National Martial Arts Association back in the Republic area of China. It is definitely an incorrect method to classify the Nei Jia and the Jia. Well, this idea was abandoned by the association merely a year after it was thought of. Well, this idea was abandoned by the association merely a year after it was thought of. This terrible misconception had already gone viral. Again, I recommend you watch the Decoding Martial Proverb number 10, Northern Shaolin, Southern Wudang video for a better understanding. Third, based on the approach in self-defense, Nei Jia focuses on 以静制动 or using the static to overcome the dynamic, while Jia focuses on 主于博人 or attack first in self-defense. This method is not correct either. A case in point is 形意, one of the three internal styles. 形意focuses on proactively attack the opponent, unlike Tai Chi, which focuses on a reactive approach. Both of them belong to the Nei Jia but have starkly contrasting approaches. Fourth, based on focus on cultivation of energy. For example, Sun Lutang said, quote, 善养气者即内家，不善养气者为外家. Translation, those who are good at cultivation energy are considered to practice Nei Jia, or else their practice is a Jia. So his method is to determine if the practice focuses on cultivation of qi. However, he neither defined nor elaborated what the meant by the term qi or energy. Fifth, appearance of a style. Many people claim that if the practice appears soft, it is internal, while if the appearance of the practice is hard, it is external. This is not correct at all. For example, the second routine in the Chen style Tai Chi appears hard, while Xingyi appears even harder. To give you an example, quite a few people have commented that there is no internal in my Xingyi, to which I say, sorry for your taste. On the other hand, some external styles can appear soft as well. So, to differentiate internal or external according to the physical appearance without analyzing the inner mechanism is an incorrect approach. So, I have listed some of the most popular explanations of Nei Jia. You can see that there is not a clear definition of it. The reason is very simple. Because Nei Jia is a historical term without a clear definition in the first place, then adding further hypotheses without concrete analysis does not make the situation any better. Now, let me provide you my definition of Nei Jia, which differs from all of these prior definitions. I define Nei Jia to be a style focusing on the Dantian, which includes the practice of Nei Gong for both health and self-defense, with guiding principles mainly rooted in Taoism and Confucianism. This is a definition which has applied in history and applies even today. Whether or not it changes in the future remains to be seen. I have a prior video titled Internal Style Concept 22, 内功外用. In this video, I have explained 内功 or internal practice. I highly recommend you watch it. Link is in the description. By the way, traditionally, Taoist concepts seem to have been the only guiding principles in the internal style. However, after years of practice, teaching, and research, I believe that Confucian concepts have served as guiding principle for the internal style as well, which will be explained in the next topic. Topic 4. Key characteristics of Nei Jia. After briefly introducing what Nei Jia is, I'd like to explain 3 key characteristics of Nei Jia or internal self-practice. Please keep in mind that I will only cover 3 aspects of this topic, including first, philosophical foundation, second, focus on Dantian in training, and third, Nei Gong for cultivation of Nei Jin or internal power, internal strength. First, philosophical foundation. Philosophical foundation is an inevitable topic in the practice of any internal style. I have to say that in the first place, military activity was not guided by philosophy, since the ultimate objective of any military activity in a battle was to defeat the enemy. However, over time, military activity further evolved into military strategy. The increasing participation of civilians in military activities saw the increased usage of martial arts in civil society. Especially since the Song dynasty, about 1,000 years ago, martial arts had become an independent activity in parallel to the original military usage. That gave rise to many well-written documents with rich philosophical content, especially during the Ming Dynasty about 700 years ago. The integration of philosophical content and physical practice as a standard format of martial training documents became an even more prevalent phenomenon during the Qing Dynasty, about 400 years ago. I have some videos introducing this topic. For example, a video titled Internal Style Concept 10, Methodology Continued, from Calligraphy to Martial Art. Please have a look if you haven't already. Now, what are the main philosophical schools of thought that have had the strongest impact on the internal styles? The first school of thought is Taoism, which I have talked about in many of my videos in this series. However, given that most of the martial artists and scholars were educated in the Confucian system, which was the only dominant political system in China starting from the Qin dynasty in about 100 BCE. Confucianism has had a strong impact and influence on the development of internal style concepts. This idea is not very popular in China since in martial art community there are not many people who pay attention to this topic. So I will not spend any more time talking about the Taoist influences in this video. Instead, I will focus on introducing the impact of Confucianism on the internal styles. Following that, I will share with you the result of my own research on this topic. Confucianism has evolved a lot over more than 2,500 years of history, owing to the contributions of not only Confucius himself, but also other scholars and philosophers of later generations. Some key concepts in Confucianism have become the guiding principle for the internal style. For example, the concept of 中庸 or constant mean, constant middle way, or center and unchangeable is applied in guiding any martial physical movement. 太和元气 or great harmonized primordial energy became the overall imagery in energy-related practice or 练气, which is the key topic in the internal styles. 练气 is not to be confused with 气功. I have introduced Tai He Yuan Qi in my prior video titled Tai Chi Stepping like a cat. Link is in the description. Furthermore, Mengzi or Mencius, an important Confucian philosopher who lived from 372 BCE to 289 BCE, contributed the concept of 浩然正气 or great spirit or great righteous energy, which has been directly applied in describing the mental state of any internal style practice. Mencius said, quote, 我善养吾浩然之气，其为气也，至大至刚，以直养而无害，则塞于天地之间。Translation: I'm skillful in nourishing my great spirit. The great spirit can be exceedingly great and exceedingly strong and nourished my rectitude without injury. It fills up all between heaven and earth. I plan to introduce this topic more in the future, but for now I will limit discussion up to this point. Of course, Buddhism has had an impact on internal practice as well, but compared to Taoism and Confucianism, the impact of Buddhism has been. With the context in mind, my understanding of the relationship between Taoism and Confucianism to internal style of martial art can be described using the term 儒心道法. 儒 means Confucianism, 心 means heart or mind, 道 means Taoism, 法 means method or practical technique. Put together, this term means Confucian mind, Taoist method. Mind here implies the mental state and the method implies the training method. I created this term based on my research and experience. I will explain this concept more in the future since I believe my concept harmonizes the relationship between the internal styles, Confucianism and Taoism together in explaining the key theoretical aspect of the internal styles. This topic needs further elaboration, which I will provide in future videos. Second, 丹田为中心, focus on Dantian in training. The concept of Dantian can be considered one of the key focuses in the internal styles. However, we have to distinguish between the different denotations of Dantian by clarifying its connotation. I have to say that if a style does not focus on the Dantian, it is not considered an internal style. I have a video titled Dantian, a key concept in internal style training decoded. Please take a look if you haven't already. Link is in the description. 3. 内功 for cultivation of 内劲. 内劲, or internal power or internal strength, is the popular term used in the community. My explanation of Nei Jia is that Nei Jia is the result of a practice of Nei Gong or internal practice. Nei Gong practice is aimed to improve the Nei Jia or internal power. However, the practitioner also has to deal with the relationship between Nei Jia and different martial techniques. The key principle is that any martial technique should be based on Nei Jia or internal power. In other words, internal power is the foundation of any martial technique. That is one of the key differences between internal style and some of other styles. To summarize, I have listed and explained only the 3 main characteristics of Nei Jia practice, which I believe are necessary and sufficient characteristics to define Nei Jia. Of course, there are many other characteristics as well, which I will talk about in future videos. Topic 5. Demonstration. Today, I'd like to demonstrate a single exercise used to improve our internal strength. It is from 形意八卦 palm, a style created by Zhang Zhaodong in Tianjin. The name of this movement is called 裸手撞掌 or hand pulling and palm striking. Okay. Hello, I'd like to demonstrate one exercise from 形意八卦 palm for internal strength training. So we can go from here, then extend, then. Topic 6. Correction of students' practice. Okay, now, so let my students demonstrate one single movement from the rooster form, then I correct his exercise. Okay, let's start. Okay, put more strength. Yes, yes, back. One, no, under. Yes, 1, 2, yes, very good. Now, let me correct some movement, okay? First of all, this part.
You come this way.
Okay.
Because they can see.
Oh.
Yeah.
First of all, the first movement is good, but try this again. Yes. So today's movement, the force should from this area. So it should be like 1, shake this area when you strike. Again, shake this area. No. So come back, look at this, okay? I show different angle. 1, so shake it here. When you strike, 1, shake. Okay, yes, it's good. And okay, now another second point I need to correct this. When you step forward, this area sink down, right? Then here up, then at here the opposite. Here push, so down, push again. Yes, turn to this side. Yes. It's good. That's good. Thank you. Topic 7. Takeaways. First, Jia has multiple meanings, but in the context of martial arts, it means style. Nei means internal and Wai means external. Second, Nei Jia was first mentioned by Huang Baijia in Wang Zhengnan's Epitaphy. Huang Baijia, however, didn't provide any meaning or explanation for Nei Jia, because of which later practitioners attempted to provide their own. 3. Multiple definitions of Nei Jia may exist. However, I disagree with all of them as I consider them to be mere hypotheses. My definition of Nei Jia is a style focused on Dantian, which includes the practice of Nei Gong for both health and self-defense, which guiding principle mainly rooted in Taoism and Confucianism. Fourth, key characteristics of Nei Jia are philosophical foundation, 丹田为中心, focus on Dantian in training. 内功for cultivation of 内劲. Fifth, make sure to check out the demonstration and the student correction section to get a better idea on how to improve your own 内劲. That brings us to the end of today's video. Thanks for watching. See you next time and enjoy your practice.